Okay, today is March 18th. It's kind of chilly today, about 30 degrees. It's still, and I actually prefer installing honeybees on a cold day because they're very willing to go straight into this box. They're not going to be flying around. On a warmer day, dynamics are a lot different. The bees will be flying around. Sometimes they don't come back to the actual box that you want them to, and maybe a lot of them will go into the same, a different box, and I don't necessarily want to do that. So what I did today is I put a rubber band on this frame. We're going to put the queen cage in there. The queen is hanging down off of this ribbon here, and this is a can of syrup. So what I like to do is take this can of syrup out first, and I'll be knocking the bees off of it. There will be some bees on it, and I knock them right into the box. And there's our queen cage. I like to check to see, and you notice I just bumped the bees off of it. Check to see if our queen is alive, and she is. I don't want to expose her too long in this cold weather, so I'm going to quickly, I take the cork out of the candy end. You'll notice the bees will chew through that candy. It'll take them 3-4 days to do that. In that amount of time, they'll have had a chance to pass her pheromone around, and then this will be their queen. It currently is not their queen. This is a queen that was raised somewhere else, and so they've got to get accustomed to her pheromone. What I'm doing here is I have the candy side down. I have the screen between the frames so the bees can come up and feed her. You don't want to have it down, or you don't want to have it up like that, because then the bees can't feed her. And this way I can have two frames together, and as you can see, the bees will be able to get at that queen and feed her real nicely. Ignore. Okay, so I want the least amount of bees being flung all around, so my shaking is going to be very short movements, but it's going to be very abrupt, because these bees have real good tools on their feet and they can hang on real well. So I want them to get out of there, and I'm also not going to shake more than a few seconds as well, because I don't want to make it too violent of an act for them. I get the majority out in just a few seconds. As you can see, now the majority of the bees are out of there, and now I can take this and I want to bounce this package, and you notice I have the lid down here in front of the hive. I'm going to bounce it where in the lid, so any bees on the outside will go down in the lid, and I can eventually put them back into this box. And so I want to bounce them into a corner and then drop them out of this hole. And it takes a little bit of bouncing because they can really hang on. There I go, dropping them out of the hole. And again, it takes some vigorous back and forth, up and down movement. And I want to get these bees out of this package. On a warm day, I don't care if I get all the bees out, because they can fly right back to this box. But on this cold day, they really can't get out of here and fly, so it's up to me to get them all out of here. All right, and that's pretty good. And now that you can see, the bees have crawled up onto this frame, and we can then put in our remaining frames. And since it's too cold for them to get out and forage, I've made a little spacer here where I'll put a pollen patty. You'll notice I'm shushing them out of the way so I don't crush any bees on the pollen patty. I put my spacer on here on the top, And here's my feeder. It's just a Ziploc bag. You want to use a Ziploc bag. If you are, don't use ones that have that knob that slides across. They have a tendency to leak, but these do not leak. I don't put a lot of syrup in because I want to come back here in a few days and I'll put some more syrup on here. A little later in April, they may not take any of this syrup because it might be nice and there's a lot of nectar out, and then I pull that right off of here because I don't want all that liquid in the hive. All I do is cut a slit in this and the bees will be able to come right up there and take that syrup out of that bag. And now any bees that were on that package are now on the lid and they're going right back into the hive. And that's it. There's a package.